Hi there, my name is Peter, and I am a part sales manager for an equipment manufacturing company. In our company, we use Annata Dynamics IDMS, a powerful management solution which is built as an add-on to Microsoft Dynamics AX and is specifically designed to support the automotive, equipment, rental, and fleet industries. Annata Dynamics IDMS is used to cover industry-specific needs throughout the entire lifecycle of a product, all within one solution. Each manufacturer has different ways in which they handle what we call dirty parts. These are old items that need to be returned to us. We do this only for larger parts of equipment, like the engine, gearbox, or clutch. We take them back to refurbish an engine, for example, and sell on to another customer. We also take them to dispose them in a responsible and environmental-friendly way. There are a number of setup areas to control how the return item is handled. The first area is against the supplier item itself. If we look at the detail behind the clutch in this example, you can see that we need to identify a refund price. Some manufacturers need to hold a range of refund prices depending on the condition of the dirty part coming back. Another key step of setup is to ensure that the returnable checkbox is marked, as only some specific larger parts are returnable. It is then necessary to set up supplementary items that handle two things: the deposit that is paid by the customer and the item that is returned. A deposit is taken from the customer to encourage them to return the dirty part. They get this amount back as soon as they return the old part. As I mentioned right at the start, manufacturers have different ways of handling parts returns. These methods are set up against the brand. Let's have a look at the options behind our brand. On the Refund Handling tab, I can set up the details of the method that applies. Some manufacturers use the purchasing method, and others use the sales order. By setting up the criteria in one of the three areas, we can assure that our criteria will be matched. Once the setup is complete, we can then look at the way it actually works. The starting point is the sales order. In effect, I'm going to sell the customer a new part and also handle the return of the dirty part. So I need to create a new sales order. Enter in the customer details and click on OK. In the lines section of the newly created sales order, I can then enter in the part that the customer wishes to purchase. Once I have selected the part, I can click on the Sales Order line icon. The system then automatically identifies the supplementary items that should be included on the sales order. These relate to the supplementary items that we saw before in the Setup section. You can see that the customer will be charged a deposit, but we are expecting to pay this back to the customer as soon as they send the dirty part to us. That is why we can see two lines with a figure of $250. With one of these also showing a minus sign. The sales order can then be confirmed, delivered, and invoiced. The customer is then expected to return the dirty part, but I need to alert my colleagues in the warehouse that they can expect the part to be returned. To do this, I can raise a return order, and I do this from the return order list page. I raise a new return order by selecting the customer. From the return order, I click on the Find Sales Order icon to find the original sales order that relates to this return order. From the form that appears, I can select the order and the lines that I am expecting to be returned. Once I have done this, I can click on OK. The return order is then ready for my warehouse colleagues to match it to the part that will come back from the customer. And this is an example of how we use Annata Dynamics IDMS to cover our manufacturing management needs. You can now take a look at how other companies are using IDMS by checking the next videos. Thanks for watching.